right, so let's get into our last moments talk of the month. So again, next week we're going to start our bowling. So we're going to have a lot of fun. So if you guys would just give me your utmost attention, that is super duper. Okay, so the last few weeks we've been going over David and his rise to being a king. Now, can anyone tell me what they've learned or what they can apply or anything like that? What we've been covering for the last 3 weeks? Can anyone give me anything? Oh, bug. Okay, Jay Lee. Thank God. Okay. Uh-huh. David and Goliath. Uh-huh. Yeah, they were fighting. Okay. So what are some things that we can take away from the talk so far? Miss Janessa, was that a hand? Okay, what do you got? Yeah, Saul while he's pooping? Not a good tactic to kill someone while they're pooping, but that's fine. Haters gonna hate, you know? Okay. Anything else that you guys can remember? Alright, cool. Oh, Naomi, what's up, dude?
Isn't it a good tactic because no one ever expects it?
Well, I would say that there are some things, like we talked about when we were going over this, that David didn't want to kill Saul because he felt like it wasn't time, and it wasn't his job to take someone anointed from the Lord out like that, right? So he's like, no, I'm not going to kill you while you're pooping because I'm a homie, all right? So this week we're going to go into our last moment that I want to cover by David, and we're going to be having a three-part. So what it is David, this dude named Nabal, and his wife Abigail. So we're going to go over that as we go. So, excuse me. So we are just a chapter ahead of where we were last week. We were chapter 24. This week we're at chapter 25. So not much has happened since we left our Saul in the pooper being killed and all those things. So this is just a chapter ahead, and we're going to be learning about this dude who is rich, named Nabal, and his wife Abigail. So let me read what is going down. So we're going to enter in right away what's happening. It's going to be on the screen. Okay, we got chapter 25, verses 4 through 6. We have, while David was in the wilderness, he heard that Nabal was shearing sheep. Okay, so he sent 10 young men and said to them, go up to Nabal at Carmel, and not over there, and greet him in my name. Say to him, long life to you, good health to you and your household, and good health to all that is yours. So he's offering a warm welcome. This David guy is offering a warm welcome to this very rich guy. Chris, can you stop? Because you're distracting everyone, including myself. Cheers. All right, because he's taking his pants off, and I don't need to do that. No. So, anyway. Okay. So, again, he sent out this warm welcome. He's like, hey man, with this warm welcome, I also have been taking care of your land. I've been helping you keep everything safe and nothing was missing. So is there any way that you can give my army, my dudes, that I'm trying to take care of, some food and some wine and some water? Is there any way that you can do this? And so he sends his messenger with this positive, like, hey man, like, all is well with you, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so when these guys get to this dude Nabal, and they give him this thing, this warm welcome, Nabal does not take it well. He does not feel it at all. And so he essentially said, you know what, David, I don't even know who you are, and you can go kick rocks. I hope that you fall over and scrape your knees. Right? So he's like, I don't care who you are, I don't care what you're asking for, I'm not giving it to you because I don't even know you. So go away. So he tells the messengers that, and the messengers are like, okay, we're going to go tell David that, good luck. And when the messengers came back and told David, David was hated. He was so angry that he got a little crazy, right? He got a little uppity. And so he goes, you know what? Since this dude is a punk, everyone grab their swords, we're going to slaughter everyone. We're going to kill everything. Fair enough, right? You know, he was kind of mad. And so he's like, you know, we're going to go kill everyone. So they're on their way to kill Nabal and every freaking person there. They're like, we're going to kill all the dudes there. They're probably going to let the women live because they're nice like that. But all the dudes, we're going to slay you and good luck. And so all the while, David's getting his dudes ready to go slaughter everyone. We have the wife, Abigail, who hears about this interaction where Nabal's like, yeah, scoot off, go away from me. And she immediately goes, oh no, because she knows who David is. And she's like, this is not good. Because she realizes that David had been taking care of everything. And she was aware that David's men were making sure nothing was stolen. And they're basically helping Nabal take care of his land without really being asked to. Which is really cool, right? So again, as soon as she heard that the husband was like, bye Felicia, she's like, oh snap, I need to go fix this. And she rides off on a donkey, not knowing that David's being like, everyone is going to get slaughtered, good luck. And she runs into this situation. Chris, can you stop? Round 3? Cheers, mate. Alright, so she runs into this situation where she's going to look for David, and she accidentally finds him. Very, very upset. So she walks into this, and again, I'm jumping ahead about 20 verses here. We're going to go from 21 to 22. This is what Abigail hears upon reaching where she is, and David, he's yelling, right? This is what he's yelling. David 21. David just said, it's been useless, all my watching over this fellow's property in the wilderness, so that nothing of his goes missing. He has paid me back evil for good. This is the scary part. Verse 22. May God deal with David, saying, may God deal with me, be it ever so severely, if by morning I leave alive one male who belongs to him. So he's like, you know what? God smite me and kill me if I don't kill everyone there. Whew. I feel like, oh snap, if I was that wife, because what is she going to do, right? Be like, don't kill my husband. It's probably not going to work, because David is heated, and he's going to kill everyone, and he's going so far as being like, you know what, God, kill me if I don't kill everyone. That's how ticked off he is. David does not like to be disrespected, all right? No one does, but David especially. So this is the moment I want to look at, this first one, right? Because we're going to go over 2. And I want to ask you, just like David, where has your pride been wounded lately? Where has your pride been wounded just like David's? I just want to leave you with that question. Just think about it for a sec. Because I'm sure for us, we don't have a bunch of dudes with swords who are ready to back us up at every small slighted thing who's going to be like, I'm going to kill everyone, right? That's usually not how it goes because we're normal people. But David has dudes behind him who are willing to go to death for even just this, which is pretty crazy. And we don't have those people with swords, but we might want them. Every time our ego and pride is slashed by something that someone may say. I remember for me in junior high, and I've told the story, some of you have heard it, my one junior high moment where I was never able to live it down, and I just got so much crap for it, was I was playing soccer, and I suck at everything, especially as a 13-year-old me, being like, I'm coming, guys, I'm going to kick the ball. So I'm going and trying to kick this ball, and it's like this perfect kick, and I see this like Lord of the Rings moment where it's like, ah! I'm like, this is me, this is my one moment where I'm going to be an absolute hero. And so I go to kick it, and I kick it as hard as possible, and instead I miss the ball, kick into the air, and on the way in the air, my leg pops out of socket because I kicked so hard, and I didn't make contact, so it went cluck, and I go in the middle of the air, land flat on my back, and everyone is laughing. And I'm sitting there going like, oh, and the coach is like, get up, Nelson, and I'm like, I can't stand, because I cannot move because my leg is busted, and I'm just like, you know, I couldn't get up, and I was on the verge of tears, but luckily I didn't cry, all right? I didn't cry. I might have. I didn't cry, I swear. I swear I didn't cry, all right? But I fell, dislocated my leg, and I remember having to get carted off in a wheelchair by the nurse, and I couldn't even make eye contact with people. I just was, because it's on the grass, so it's bumpy, and I'm just in the wheelchair, and I was like, I just can't make eye contact with people, and I never lived that moment down, ever. I was called so many horrible things from that one instant, and I was just never able to have people let that go. I was made fun of mercilessly. Now, it's funny now, it wasn't funny then, because I just would dread to go to school because all the people made fun of me for it. I hated junior high so much. But I just remember, again, it's funny now, but back then, man, it was so tough, because just no one would let me forget about it. So what is it for you? Obviously, hopefully you haven't kicked your own leg out of socket. I don't even know how I did that. probably because I was weak and frail and I kicked real hard, and my body was like, whoa, we're doing physical activity? What is this? But I digress. What is it for you, though? What pride bruises are you taking? What has it been for you lately? Has it been you trying to help a friend out at school, trying to help them with homework or whatever, something small, and when you ask them for the help, they're like, nah, I don't have time. Right? Okay, what about if you let your friend borrow some money for a bagel or whatever, for some chips, and you're like, hey man, are you going to ever pay me back? And they're like, I didn't borrow money from you. Has anyone ever done that? Or you let them borrow money, and it's cool, it's whatever, because we're homies, right? And so you go in a few weeks later going, hey, can I borrow $1? And I'm like, no, you ain't getting nothing from me, right? We all have friends like that, don't lie. Okay? What about if you let a friend borrow something and they return it to you just busted, or they don't even return it to you at all because they lost it, or whatever. And you're just like, that was my favorite jacket, my favorite shoes, my favorite video game, my favorite Xbox, my favorite controller, and they're like, sorry, and you're like, what do I do with this mess? Like, cool, thanks, bruh. Okay? What about someone talks crap about you? Right? Someone behind your back, someone's talking crap, and you hear about it, and you're like, right? What about if someone you trust, you tell a secret to, and then all of a sudden they are telling other people? And you're like, what the heck, dude? Like, I thought we were close, and you shouldn't be telling my secrets. Like, what the heck? What about my personal favorite that I heard recently? What about if you are a girl and you turn a guy down, and then they make your next few weeks a living hell? Because they start lying about you, start lying about maybe some of the things that you did, but you've never even been around them, and they're like, oh yeah, we totally made it out, it was so cool. And you're like, I haven't even touched you, like, you're so weird and ugly now, like. But it's happened, right? Someone turns the other person down, and they get so mad that they just take it out and just talk crap about the other person and make up stories, and you're sitting there going, none of this is true, but it's their word versus yours. And your pride is just getting slashed and beat up, and you're sitting there going, what did I do to deserve this? Whatever your hurt is, I want you to recognize that all of us have an ego, all of us have pride, and it's on the verge of being wounded on a daily basis, and it sucks. I know it sucks. Because when it happens, if you're anything like me, I demand justice. I'm such a justice-orientated person where I'm like, if you wrong me, I'm going to wrong you 7 times over, because that's justice. But maybe I'm a little extreme. Maybe I'm more like David than I want to admit, right? But all of us have David moments. When you're wrong, you're like, oh, heck no, all right? We throwing hands. Give me some bows, I'm going to throw some bows, all right? It happens. If you had swords, 400 dudes with swords behind you, you're like, let's go murder everyone. Trust me, if you had the people, you would do it, because I would do it. Okay? All of us, when we get hurt with our pride and we're stuck in this moment, how do we usually lash out? It's usually in anger, frustration, or even tears, right? Have you ever been so frustrated and so hurt that you just can't do anything but cry? We've all been there. But I gotta ask though, is your pride really what's important? Truly. Is your pride really what's important in life? You gotta ask yourself that. It's a very important question. Because all of us have it. All of us have these David moments, but is it worth it to have these moments? Maybe. I'd say not, but maybe some of us feel like it, right? Because is your pride and ego worth the sin that you will commit in that frustration, sadness, anger moment where you're maybe wanting to have justice? Is it worth the sin that you're going to commit? Again, I'd say no, but unfortunately, and it happens all the time, we make these mistakes, right? But luckily the story doesn't end there. And I want to wrap this up with this really cool moment with Abigail. This is where Abigail really comes up clutch, right? This woman is so cool. And I hope when I'm married, I have a wife like Abigail. And I'm not like Nabal, but still, hopefully I get an Abigail here. Because she comes, and it's a great reminder that when someone is tearing you down, the Lord is going to bring someone in your life to bring it back up. The Lord is always doing something, whether through someone else or by himself. He's going to build that broken piece of you, because that's kind of what our pride, when it gets hurt, what happens, it feels like someone is taking a piece of us and just smashing it, right? But Abigail comes to the rescue, okay? And she comes and she ends up delivering a bunch of loaves of bread, a bunch of wine, a bunch of stuff to David's men, saying, please do not take my husband's rudeness for our rudeness. Do not do this. Don't make a mistake. Do not commit this act of vengeance upon your own hands. And please, David, do not do this. And she's like, you're going to be blessed, and your enemies are going to be cursed. She's thrown everything she can at making the situation right. And so David comes to the second moment where he could turn and just be like, bye, and she's dead. Or he can choose to go a different route. And again, I want to read it just because it's so cool. Abigail is such a stud. Like, I freaking love this woman. Like, the boldness of her is awesome. He went from straight, I'm going to slaughter people, to completely calm. Verse 33, and I'm just going to read it, and then we're going to go into groups in about a minute. Verse 33, it says, this is David saying to Abigail, may you be blessed for your good judgment, and for keeping me from bloodshed this day, from avenging myself with my own hands. That's so key, what he just said there. For avenging myself with my own hands. What does that mean? Because David realized, I was about to do something so heinous, because I'm trying to be this good person, this good king, unlike Saul, and I was about to ruin everything with this whole thing. I'm just going to slaughter a bunch of innocent people because my pride was wounded. Because I don't think David was right in this act. I don't. I can understand why he was mad, but I don't understand why he's like, I'm going to high everyone, right? It's not quite how it should go. But David realized, I can't do this. And what we need to realize is when our pride is hurt, it's not our job to take our own vengeance with our own hands, right? That's the Lord's job. That's His job. He has said in the Bible, do not do this. I will have justice. I will have it for you. I will get it for you. Trust me. Trust me. Over and over and over. God has our back at all times. And the question is, for you, are you ready? Are you allowing God to be your God and have your back? Genuinely. Because God is here for you, but are you going to allow Him to be your God? To be your leader, that when something goes wrong, He's going to fight your battles so you don't have to bloody your hands